Mark Zuckerberg, that's right, the Zuck man himself, has now reviewed Apple Vision Pro and compared it against his own product, the Meta Quest 3. What a weird world we live in. Anyway, I've seen some clips and hot takes about this, but I haven't yet watched the full video, and I can't wait. And like Zuck himself, I too have spent considerable time in Apple Vision Pro, and I've tried the Meta Quest 3 as well, so I'm very curious to see what he has to say. But before we even get into it, the fact that Mark is sitting down on a couch and reviewing a competitor's product already puts you in a bad spot. And especially considering when Apple announced the Vision Pro, he was pretty gracious about it, saying,
I think having Apple come in and share that vision will make a lot of people who are fans of their products really consider that. You know, of course, the $3,500 price, on the one hand, I get it with all the stuff that they're trying to pack in there. So I think that there's a chance that them coming in actually increases demand for the overall space, and that Quest 3 is actually the primary beneficiary of that.
Yeah, he's right there. But let's see how things may have changed now that he's actually tried Apple Vision Pro. Right after this word from today's video sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Tello, the service provider designed to save you money. Tello plans are beyond affordable and forever flexible. There are no contracts, and you don't have to buy in bulk to lock in a great price. Tello just lowered prices for plans across the board, and no, that's not a limited one-time deal or a 1 month with contract offer like you see from traditional cellular providers. Tello Mobile simply offers the flexibility to choose the plan that fits you the best every month, and you don't pay for more than what you need. Their best-selling plans let you choose exactly how much data you need, and all of them include a free hotspot, Wi-Fi calling, unlimited texts, international calls to 60 plus countries, and eSIM support. Getting started with Tello is super easy. Their goal is to remove the hassle and the stress from picking a cellular plan. So if you want to learn more, check out the link in the description below. A big thanks to Tello Mobile for sponsoring today's video. And now let's get back to it.
All right, guys. So I finally tried Apple's Vision Pro.
First of all, I love the way he starts that out like a YouTube channel from 2015. All right, guys, make sure to smash that like button below. I'm going to review Apple Vision Pro.
You know, I have to say that before this, I expected that Quest would be the better value for most people since it's really good and it's like 7 times less expensive. But after using it, I don't just think that Quest is the better value. I think that Quest is the better product, period.
Okay, not gonna lie, you had me in the first half and then you lost me pretty significantly because it's hard to deny that the Meta Quest 3 is a good value compared to Apple Vision Pro. It is indeed 7 times less expensive, and it also has pass-through video and hand gestures and the ability to have multiple virtual windows. But it also adds in a lot more games than Apple Vision Pro currently supports, and the ability to just plug into your PC and play VR games on that. So yeah, undeniably that is the case. But to say that it is the better product, hands down, full stop, I'm gonna need some more evidence.
And you know, the different companies made different design decisions for the headsets. They have different strengths. But overall, Quest is better for the vast majority of things that people use mixed reality for.
Is it?
Now, my friend Kenny is actually capturing this video.
Bro, what the hell is Kenny doing? Bro is literally sitting there like... That is so funny. I also love how from this angle you can see that he's clearly in like a $100 million mansion. Whereas in the other angle it looks like, oh, I'm just a normal guy on a couch with a normal wall behind me.
My friend Kenny is actually capturing this video on Quest's high-resolution mixed reality pass-through right now. We're just here in my living room, and you can see his browser windows and whatever else he's got running up here. So yeah, Quest 3 does high-quality pass-through with big screens, just like Vision Pro.
So he says just like Vision Pro in a very matter-of-fact way, and I get what you mean. Like, yes, it does have color pass-through video, and yes, it does have virtual windows and an augmented reality-based experience, but they're not the same. I mean, first of all, if we go back to my boy Kenny, you can see he's holding a couple of controllers. That's a much more integral part of the Quest 3 experience compared to Apple Vision Pro. There's just no denying that. Apple's implementation is just better. The cameras are higher quality, the windows are higher resolution, they're easier to move around, and the gestures are way, way more intuitive. Now, that doesn't mean that those features are worth it, because after all, Apple Vision Pro is 7 times more expensive, and I wouldn't say that those features are 7 times better than what Meta has, but they are better.
But we also designed it to be great for a lot of other things. Moving around, playing games, hanging out with friends and socializing, working out.
I mean, look, I've done all of those things in Apple Vision Pro. I went to the gym, I played AR games in my living room, and I've had loads of FaceTime calls, so I'm not really sure what he's getting at here.
Quest, I think is just a lot more comfortable. We designed it to weigh 120 grams less, which makes a really big difference on your face. There's no wires that get in the way when you move around. It's a big deal. Our field of view is wider, and I found our screen to be brighter also.
All right, let's go through those one by one because I think actually he's got some good points here. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that the Quest 3 is comfortable. It is definitely a lot lighter, and the fact that you have a built-in battery means if you're using the Quest 3 standalone, yeah, you don't have any wires, which means your range of motion is a bit better. The field of view thing I think is probably accurate, but it's very subtle. I wouldn't have really noticed it if he hadn't pointed it out. And the screen being brighter, I mean, I don't really see why that matters. I've actually turned the brightness all the way down on Vision Pro because when you have something that close to your eyes, you don't want it to be blasting light directly into your pupils.
I also noticed that Apple's headset has this motion blur as you move around, which Quest is just a lot crisper.
Now this is the best point that he's made in this entire video, bar none, because this is an undeniable fact. Apple Vision Pro has this weird motion blur when you turn your head. I suspect it's because they're cropping in and stabilizing digitally the feed from those cameras, and it kind of looks like when you apply stabilization effects to a video. You get this horizontal blurring when you move your head back and forth. And the Quest 3, he's right, does not have that. Now, does that mean that the Quest 3 has better pass-through video? No. The quality of the cameras on the Quest 3 is significantly lower, and the biggest issue that I've found with it is that it is not nearly as good at detecting depth. If you wave your hand in front of your face, you see a ton of distortion behind it. It just doesn't really know what to make of that. So he's got a good point about the motion blur on Vision Pro, which is a significant issue that Apple needs to work on, but overall, Apple Vision Pro pass-through video is pretty much undeniably better. Again, not 7 times better, but it is better.
Now, Apple's screen does have a higher resolution, and that's really nice. But I was surprised by how many trade-offs they had to make to the quality of the device and the comfort and ergonomics and other aspects of the display and artifacts in order to get to that. Now, for input, Quest supports precision controllers that are great for games. Both headsets support hand tracking, but I found ours to be a little more accurate.
Oh, no. Sit down, my friend. First of all, the precision controllers is definitely giving BlackBerry keyboard being more tactile than the iPhone keyboard energy to me. But second of all, to say that the Quest 3 has more accurate hand detection is just flat out wrong. And I know there's gonna be meta boys down in the comments being like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I've tried them both. If you have a Meta Quest 3, go to an Apple store, do a demo, try Apple Vision Pro for yourself before you make any judgments, because it is just better.
Apple's eye tracking is really nice. We actually had those sensors back in Quest Pro. We took them out for Quest 3, and we're gonna bring them back in the future. It's a nice interface. It's not perfect for everything though. For typing or complex tasks, you're gonna want things like hands or a keyboard or controllers or eventually a neural interface for those kind of inputs. Quest's immersive content library is a lot deeper.
I thought he was going to explain more about that, but he just kind of moved on. I think that honestly, the eye tracking for a keyboard is not great when you have to look at the keys, but you can also touch type with your index fingers, and I think that works pretty well. You can also pair a Magic Keyboard and use that. I mean, yeah, typing is probably a weak point for Vision Pro, but to say that that is kind of an indictment of the eye tracking technology, I think is missing the point.
Quest's immersive content library is a lot deeper. We've been working with studios building virtual and mixed reality games and other content for a long time now. And if you want to watch YouTube or play Xbox on a big screen anywhere you go, that's only available on Quest for now.
Okay, yes, so Meta does have a bigger content library because, again, the Apple Vision Pro has only been out existing in the world for 2 weeks. So yeah.
When I look around, it seems like there are a lot of people who just assumed that Vision Pro would be higher quality because it's Apple and it costs $3,000 more. But, honestly, I'm pretty surprised that Quest is so much better for the vast majority of things that people use these headsets for with that price differential.
Dude, it's just giving bitter to me. I mean, I don't even think that he's wrong. I think that the Quest 3 is an unbelievable value compared to Apple Vision Pro. And I've been saying this whole time that the things that Apple does better are not 7 times better, like the price tag. So I think fundamentally he is correct, but he's going about it in a very weird way where he's like trying to deny the things that Apple is undeniably better at, while at the same time trying to make the point that the Meta Quest 3 is a better value. You should let the product speak for itself. I mean, you go to TikTok, any video about the Apple Vision Pro is going to be flooded with comments being like, oh, but the Meta Quest 3, the Meta Quest 3. I don't even know that this video was truly necessary. In fact, it kind of makes me feel like maybe he's more worried than he's letting on by the fact that he felt the need to make this video in the first place.
Now, look, I know that, some fanboys get upset whenever anyone dares to question if Apple's going to be the leader in a new category. But the reality is that every generation of computing has an open and a closed model. And yeah, in mobile, Apple's closed model won.
Oh boy, here we go. Closed versus open debate. Honestly, I don't really think that the Meta Quest 3 is that open compared to Apple Vision Pro. I mean, yeah, there is an app store and the options are a lot more limited on Apple Vision Pro as they are on all Apple products, but I don't necessarily think being more open is a benefit. I mean, take a look at this Reddit thread about browsers on the Quest 3. They're talking about the web browser that is built in isn't that great. So here's one that has an ad block and you could not make it the default browser, so you have to sideload this other one. Someone else tried sideloading Firefox, but it didn't scale websites correctly. So to me, that doesn't sound inherently better than Apple's approach. I mean, a lot of people, such as myself, would like to be able to just put the thing on, sign into iCloud, open the browser that I already use, that's already synced with all of my devices, and then it just works normally.
And in this next generation, Meta is going to be the open model, and I really want to make sure that the open model wins out again. The future is not yet written. So, I want to take a moment to just thank everyone who's been building with us for more than a decade. That goes for both Quest and the Ray-Ban Meta glasses, which are doing way better than I even hoped that they would. As the old saying goes, the best way to predict the future is to invent it. So I'll see you all out there.
I feel like you could go tit for tat with Meta versus Apple Vision Pro all day long, and you could definitely make arguments for or against either one of them. Personally, I think that these products can cohabitate because both Meta and Apple seem to be going towards a similar vision for the future. Remember a couple of years ago when Meta's approach was the whole metaverse thing, and that was deeply terrible and pretty much universally mocked. But now, Meta, at the same time as Apple, seem to be going towards this augmented reality, emphasis on pass-through video, virtual windows, not taking you out of the world as much. And I think that that is the correct direction to bring this space. Why does it have to be Apple versus Meta, closed versus open, fanboy versus fanboy? I just don't see that as being productive. I think it's the same argument that I make against Tesla fanboys when they're like, oh, all other EVs are bad, Tesla is the only EV. It's like, don't you guys want there to be more electric cars on the road? Isn't the goal to make a better car, not to make the only option? Anyway, that's just my 2 cents on this whole situation. I'm very curious to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of Mark's review of Apple Vision Pro, which curiously doesn't actually feature any footage from the Apple Vision Pro. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.